This is Jason Arbin, and we're going to walk through the latest technology in terms of generating test cases with AI and executing them with AI. So to start with, we can go in here, we can pick any website we want. Could be, we'll just use Bing, that's what we've been playing with right now. And we can do any special instructions we want. So we can say things like, use this username and password, or, don't test this area, or specifically test this area. Whatever we want to tell the AI. And then we can just start off with auto-generating test cases. So while that's running, that's going to go out and generate test cases based on the page. But the test cases are going to be optimized for like the most important to useful tests for the business. That's important to the business to verify, for the user experience, and also just from a quality perspective. So it kind of blends all those interests into the set of tests that it generates. I'll go through a couple things here too, a couple settings. One is you can decide whether to show the browser or not during playback. There's also a self-test mode for test nerds. There's an enterprise account, so that unlocks everything. And there's also a deterministic mode. So some people are worried about AI being not perfectly deterministic. This basically dials down all the settings on the AI so that it will be as deterministic and repeatable as possible. So we've got a bunch of test cases now. So we can look at just navigate to images link, for example, right? So we've got these test cases, description, and all that stuff. If there's something weird about your website that the AI can't figure out or maybe wouldn't know about, you can add that in the playback hints. So whatever you want to say, to be as specific as like an attribute or a class name for something, or so the AI can find it, or whatever it is. Usually you don't need that, but it's just in case. But we've got a test case here. Kind of generally a Cucumber-like high-level intent description of all these different test cases. So now let's go in here and let's create some custom ones. So we can also generate them. So as the AI just did everything by itself, if you want to create specific test cases that do specific things in your mind, and you're using your own creativity, you can just enter them as a prompt. And it could be for one test case, or it could be for a set of test cases. So let's let the AI we're trying here for, add tests for 3 different interesting types of animals. So what that's going to do is, it looks at this prompt from the user and then figures out if it's one or more test cases and then generates those permutations. I didn't mention that either. There's also a way here, like for search functionality, you can go in here and generate variations with one click. So you can give it some notes, like this one's verifying search functionality. Let's do different string lengths. Be more specific. And then we'll just generate variations. So the AI will go out and generate different variations of this test case for us. Well, it's a quick way to, have the AI, here we go, short, medium, and long query strings. And also we got the ones we asked for it too. It's faster than I can talk. Search for red fox, for example, right? So this is the one we asked it to generate tests specifically for different interesting animals. Red foxes are cute. So that's a pretty quick way to do them. There's also another way that's like a blast from the past. So record and playback has been like a very quick way to an easy way for people to create test cases, but they have lots of problems. But the AI solves a lot of their problems. AI makes it super, like the recording, very intelligent and can keep the intent of the test, and it makes it robust on playback, and we'll get to that in a minute. But we can do a quick record of a flow. You can optionally put a test case name in, but the AI will also just figure it out for you. So here we're recording a test case. Let's search for, I don't know. Let's do not a red fox. We'll pick another kind of fox. What does the fox say? For example. So we've done that. Now we can do assertions as we're recording. So it's recording what we're typing and everything, but we can highlight elements or click on them to say, hey, make sure this is on the page at this state. We can also add LLM verification. So we can say things like, make sure a picture of a man in a fox suit appears So you can say whatever you want. So these, so a lot of times tests will break because you're looking for a specific string that changes, and how would you in a Selenium or whatever, or Playwright test say, verify that this is actually a picture of a person in a fox suit? That you can't really do that with traditional tools. So we'll add that verification, and then we'll stop recording. And you can see here, it's recorded like all of our steps and typing and all this kind of stuff. And then we just go here and say save. And then we scroll down, see where it's going to add it. It'll auto-create, the AI figures out a name for it. Yeah, it's a visual search query. And then here's the validation we're expecting here. That's a picture of a man in a fox suit, right? So super easy way to create tests, and 3 different ways, right? You've got auto, you just click auto generate. You can add custom ones by prompt. You can also record and playback. Let's go back. I'm curious about this red fox. So we can just hit play, and it will play the test case. And then this is using AI. So it's not generating code. It's not remembering code. It's all pure AI. And so it's loaded Bing, and then it should search for red fox. Sorry for all the blinking. That's while screenshots are happening, because there's a lot of validation. So it's worth mentioning the playback isn't, again, it's not code, which is brittle and can break. It's dynamic AI. There we go. It's interacting with the page to execute the test case. And most importantly is, if the flow changes a little bit, or specifically if the UI changes, the search box, elements change, the AI can figure that out and keep going with it as long as it's rational. And then it also checks, like unlike a lot of other, like you can imagine like browser use and other types of utilities, even AI, other AI ones, we're very, very careful because this is testing. Every single step is super validated. So we take a second after every input, after every interaction with the page, to verify that the correct action happened and that the new page looks sane and rational. It also checks for, which automatically, we didn't see any in this test case though, because it's Bing. There weren't any high confidence major bugs either. If we ran into a bug, it would also automatically catch it, even without having to say to verify this or something. If the screen, had a 403 error, or it had or the UI was majorly broken or had an obvious security problem, it would actually show up in a list here. So not only does it play back the exact same, the test case that we want and test just the things we say, it also checks for other issues it found along the way. And you can see here, at every step, it also shares the reasoning for why that thing actually worked fine. You see here the reason. The screenshot shows the search results page for red fox with relevant information from Wikipedia, including sections on terminology and etymology, indicating relevant information is displayed. So like it's done, not just verifying a string on the page or something like that. It's actually cognitively verifying that this looks like a rational and a good search result for red fox. So we've gone through 3 different ways, super easy, click, 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 to generate test cases. And we can even execute them all, with the click of a button. And AI did it all. No code, no Selenium, no Playwright was injured or damaged during the production of these test cases. So if you're interested in finding out more, just drop by Testers.AI or get a hold of me. And I'd love to get this in the hands of as many people as possible. AI means there's a new revolution happening in software testing. Like the things we've always dreamed about are actually possible now, thanks to AI. The human creativity and verification and thinking is still involved, can be involved in the loop. And also this lives in an IDE for developers. So a tester can just download the IDE, install the extension, and they're off and running. And it looks like a standalone app for them. But also the developers can add it to their workflow, right? So when they're coding and building websites, they can build really quickly with a few clicks inside their IDE without even switching to a different tool. They can click, and create test suites and run them and get validation, and they can kick off the runs while they go to grab coffee or lunch. So it's a new world. We're living in it, and it's awesome. And I really encourage testers to to use tools like this, although there really aren't any that really are like this, but in generally, use tools that use AI to do your testing. And thanks for your time.